Well, hi on this nice afternoon. It's a little less hot, so we can sit outside and enjoy the wine. And I know people sometimes feel that they don't want to drink red wine in the heat, and I can understand that. But that's still my preferred wine. So I soldier on. A little bit of a tip: if you have a bottle of red wine that's been open, so it's sitting in your kitchen, and your kitchen temperature is in the 70s. Uh, just put it in the fridge 20 minutes before you want to drink it. So, and the sort of the reverse of white wine. So what they say is put a bottle of red wine in the fridge 20 minutes before you drink it, and take the white wine out of the fridge 20 minutes before you drink it. And I found that that works really, really well. Anyway, moving on. This is a Pinot Noir still, so we're still in Pinot, but from Oregon, by our friend Ayoub. So it's an Ayoub, the Memoir line, 2018 Memoir. As we've discussed before, every year has a different label, picture on the label from a specific memory from the family. This is from his brother Moines, who died that year. So it's a sort of a very personal commemoration for Mo. And this is what his bottles really are for, these memories, as well as kind of trying to get a sample from many, an assemblage from many of his different grapes in the region. And he makes a really good, very good, reasonable price, very good quality wine out of this. So here we are, 2018. A couple of days ago, we were still drinking the Pinot, the Burgundy Besancenot, and I have some comparisons that I'm going to talk about as we drink this. And if you stay until the end of this video, there's a little bit of a experiment that I can share with you then as well regarding these two wines. Not for any particular reason, but I thought it would be fun. In any case, here we are. This is a young Oregon Pinot, not very high alcohol as we discussed. This is, it's under 14, so it's higher than Burgundy, but it's not the 15 and 16. It's much darker, it's redder, so you really get more of that cherry fruit on the color. It's it has some legs, but nothing really incredible in terms of looking at that on the glass. It's pretty clear. Not super clear, but pretty clear, I would say. But I just, classic colors. So on the nose, this is where you get, again, the beautiful citrus peel and the cherry. There's, of course, a lot of fruit, a little of that hard candy cherry that you get because it's a young, New World wine. A little bit of the menthol, that comes from the alcohol, and I find that, very pleasant. So it's just a very nice, young Pinot Noir. The Burgundy, which was 2010, and it was all, a good quality sort of basic wine, had, although a Premier Cru, had more, had less fruit on the nose, a little bit more earthy, more mushroomy, more sous-bois, I think, if I remember, although it did have the citrus peel as well in it. There's definitely more tannins here, so you feel it on the back of the palate, and it's a very nice finish. So the finish is there. The other one didn't have finish, much of a finish. The finish is there. The fruit is really there, and it's again that hard candy cherry fruit. There's a little bit of a hint with the menthol and a little bit of the sort of mix with the fruit. It gives you a little bit of a licorice taste, although I don't think that's really a primary thing here. Compare that to the Burgundy that actually at on the last day, on top of the mushroomy sous-bois taste, it had more of a Sour Patch candy thing. So it was kind of like a little bit sour, a little bit of a candy, but not on the sweet side. I don't know how to describe that, and I felt that very strongly in it. Again, sort of different wines, different evolution. You're really going to get a lot more acidity in the Burgundy because of the soil. You're not going to get that in Oregon. It's got fruit, it's got alcohol, it doesn't have the acidity. Maybe it has a little bit more of tannin, it's still young, so maybe some of that wood tannin in it, but very different. I just thought it would be fun to compare the two. And now we're gonna switch over to the little clip I prepared for what I call the experiment. Anyway, stay on. Thanks. Well, this is just a quick interlude that I wanted to share with you, and you will make sense of it within a wider context. Here I am enjoying this bottle of Ayoub Memoir that we'll talk about separately, and I have a little bit left of the Besancenot that we're going to talk about. We did talk about, but I will talk about it in a longer video as well. And I told myself, you know, and maybe it was because I was enjoying this incredible book that I highly recommend to everybody if you haven't read it already. I know everybody's seen the movie, but the book is yet totally another dimension. In any case, I just said to myself, you know, these things have just a lot in common, not necessarily in common, but they sort of overlap. One has one thing that the other doesn't. What would happen if we mix them up? So there's just like a tiny little bit, please don't be mad at me, of each that I mix together into this. So very small amount, both Pinot Noir from these two very different wines. And again, we will have talked about them separately. I just want to tell you what the mix feels like. The color is just, again, is sort of as all colors are. It's a mix between the brown of the Besancenot and the sort of burgundy of the Ayoub. So, you know, it's a little bit brown, but it's, you know, it's not, it's kind of has more life in it than the burgundy on its own. The nose is just really what's really very interesting, because it's got this sort of Sour Patch thing, and it's got like a little bit of that cherry from the Ayoub. It's a little bit more on the fruit side. I think the fruit maybe takes over. But it's just very enjoyable as it is. There's nothing weird about it. There's nothing really that feels out of place. In the palate, maybe this is where it feels a little bit confused. It's got acidity, it's got tartness, it's got fruit, and it sort of dulls it all down as opposed to expanding it. And so that's where I think there's a disappointment. So net, in theory, maybe it could have been a good idea, so you have attributes of both of them combined. But in practice, I find them more enjoyable on their own. Although on the nose, the combination is really, really very, very interesting. And maybe that's what it should be done for, just for a little bit, to have it set aside and just be able to enjoy it, you know, on the nose. Anyway, I thought it was just a bit of a trick. Maybe I've had too much wine on this afternoon, sitting outside in the beautiful weather, but I wanted to share this with you guys.